Brazil, so we're ready to kick off.
Yes, I think we can start.
Okay, good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone else who's out there who's neither a lady nor a gentleman. My name is Mike Said, and I'm going to be taking you through about a 1 hour presentation on marketing and social media. I'll teach you all a little trick about Zoom. All put yourselves on mute. Anytime you want to speak, just hold down your keyboard. Bing, press down on the keyboard for as long as you want to speak. When you let go, you'll be back in mute. It's the easiest way to communicate. So I've called my talk What I Learned About Social Media at 14,000 Feet. And the reason I've called it that is all about this next video you're going to watch for just a couple of seconds. And by the way, yes, that is me in the red jumpsuit. So yes, that was me. Jumped out of an airplane at 14,000 feet. I wasn't even pushed. And I learned so much on that particular day. And what I learned most is that sometimes you just have to do it. You have to take a chance. You have to jump out of an airplane, jump into social media, just do something. Now, the guy that I was strapped to, I've discovered that I actually trust him more than I trust my doctor. Because I worked out on that day, if I died, he was dying with me. Whereas my doctor will probably speak at my funeral and say a couple of really nice things about me. But that's really what this is about. Social media is about, it's time to jump into social media. So here we go. So by way of introduction, my name is Mike Said. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Mike Said What. Welcome to friend me. Bit of an oversharer, lots of pictures of my daughter and I. I shoot some pretty crazy video. Only too happy to have any more friends that are out there. If you're on Twitter, I'm on Twitter under Mike_Said_What. You're welcome to follow me there. If you're on Instagram, it's just Mike Said What without the underscores. And of course, I'm on YouTube, which is my favorite channel. You'll find me on YouTube under Mike Said What. If you need to get hold of me, the easiest way is actually to WhatsApp me. That's on 081-398-2190. More than welcome. Drop me a WhatsApp. If we need to talk, please just do me a favor. WhatsApp me first just to make sure I'm not too busy. So a couple of rules about this evening. I've uploaded this presentation for you already, and I'll show you exactly how to go and get that presentation. I will gladly email you the presentation. I'm happy to connect with all of you on any channel that you like. But most importantly, please don't ever send me a voice note. I hate voice notes. And I hope you all identify with me because they are just the most terrible things. So if you'd like to see this presentation or own it for yourself, just pop along to my website, which is mikesaidwhat.co.za. Go along while you're there to my services and then look for infographics where you'll find a whole lot of infographics. And right down at the bottom, you'll find this link. So how do you find it? Quite simply, go to my website, click on other services, click on infographics, scroll all the way down past all the wonderful infographics you'll find there on social media. And somewhere right down at the bottom, you'll see something that says download this presentation. Click it, presentation will open. You can save it, you can have it, it's all yours. So you might ask, why don't I just give you the link? Because then you won't go to my website. And of course, I want you to go to my website before I do anything else, because that's where I make my sales. Great, so let's talk about the 4 objectives I have for this presentation. First of all, I really want to introduce you to social media. Now, some of you are using it already. You're on Facebook, you're on Twitter. I'm not really sure exactly what you do, but I'm going to introduce you to social media from a marketing point of view. The second thing I want to do is I want to try and calm you down a little bit, make you more comfortable with social media, understanding it's not this big bad wolf. It's not that difficult to do. Then I really want to inform you. I want to give you some real information you could use, some stuff that'll save you money, some stuff that'll make you money. And finally, I'm hoping to inspire you. Now, the thing I'm hoping to inspire you to do is to just do one thing today. Just do one different thing. If it's registering a domain, do that. If it's building your first website, do that. If it's opening your Facebook business page, let's do that. If it's going to your own Facebook business page and fixing it, I'm only too happy. I want you to walk away and just do one thing today. Okay, I'm asked a lot of questions all the time. The first question people always ask me is, where do you find the time? And that's quite easy. I'm in front of my computer all day, especially at the moment during lockdown. I don't know whether it's day or night. If I have to look outside to see where I am, I have to look in the corner to see what time it is. If you want to know who taught me, I taught myself. And if it wasn't myself, I learned on Google. Google and YouTube are unbelievable. It's the simplest thing to do. You get stuck, you go onto YouTube. I always look at the views. Guy's got a couple of 100,000 views, must be good things. And then finally, the last question is, can I really do this? Yes, you most certainly can do this. And by the end of this evening, I hope you'll be so excited that you won't be able to want to stop. So before we even get onto social media, I want to talk about 7 real shifts in marketing that have happened over the last couple of years that affect everything that we do. The first one is a shift towards honesty and transparency. Now, I was the marketing manager for Mug & Bean from the time we only had 5 shops. In fact, I knew the guy who started it personally. And those of you that have been to a Mug & Bean or understand what Mug & Bean is, you'll know it's a coffee shop, and on the back of the menu is this wonderful story that we tell everybody. Now, of course, that story was bullshit. It was completely made up. But 25 years ago, when Mug & Bean started, there wasn't Google. Nobody could check whether those characters actually existed. But today, if you were to start a business and make up a story, it wouldn't take long before somebody checked the internet, found out you were lying, and you'd be scrambling for credibility. Another example is, if you imagine 15 years ago, how much you trusted your doctor. If you were sick, you went to the doctor. If he told you this is what's wrong with you, you believed him. If he told you you should take a particular medicine and spend 3 days in bed, that's what you did. What happens now? The moment you're feeling sick, you go into md.com or mydoctor.com, whatever it is. You look up your symptoms. You start diagnosing yourself already. On the way to the doctor, you're already checking again what's happening with you. When you get to the doctor and he prescribes medicine, the first thing you do is a Google search on the medicine. See if there isn't a cheaper generic. It's just honesty and transparency. So whatever you do, be very careful what you say to people. In a flash, they can check it out. The second one is perception versus reality. Now, when I was young, pretty skinny kid that I was, I'd come home from school, a little bit bullied, start crying. My mom would say to me, what's wrong? And I'd say, oh, one of the boys told me I'm a skinny little runt. And my mom would always say to me, Mike, it doesn't matter what other people think of you. It only matters what you are inside. Now, that is switched completely, because right now it really doesn't matter what you really are. It only matters what people think of you. So I'm a small business. I work from home. When people ask me how big my company is, I always say we are a group of like-minded individuals. Get it? So I work with other people, other consultants. I don't actually give them an answer. I just say, and then they say to me, and where's your office? And I say, I work from somewhere very near my home. It happens to be my dining room, but for me, that's pretty near my home. So the perception is become so important. The image you portray, the image I see when I go onto your Facebook page, when you hand me a business card and it's got a spelling mistake on it, or it's only got a cell phone number, and then you ask me for a deposit, or you tell me you're going to speak to me about finance, I'm not going to listen to you. You need to present a very professional image when you speak to people every single day. The next shift is a shift away from interruption marketing. And interruption marketing is basically adverts, adverts, adverts everywhere. Now, my daughter and I, we like to watch Survivor. We will not watch Survivor live. The reason we won't watch Survivor live is because we hate the adverts. So we wait for Survivor to finish, and the next day we go on to another channel where there's no adverts, and that's how we watch it. In the old days, when we had PVR, we used to pause, go and do something, come back, miss the adverts. Billboards or interruption marketing, adverts in newspapers, anything, just interruption of interruption. So there's a real switch away from interruption marketing and other methods of marketing at the moment. There's another big shift to showing people and not telling them. So wherever possible, you need to demonstrate your product to them, be it through videos or live or charts or a PowerPoint presentation. It's all about demonstrating what the product or your service does and not simply telling them, not sending them to a website where they have to read stuff. And I'll speak about video a bit later on because I'm a very big proponent of how powerful video has become. The next big switch is towards targeting and segmentation. That's the ability to understand exactly who your target market is. Now, if I were to ask you to describe your target market, most of you will say what everyone else does. You'll say to me, everybody. And I'll say to you, well, don't you at least mean everybody with some money? You'll go, oh, yeah, I do. So that already cuts out probably 90% of the population. So, and don't you mean everyone with some money who understands the service you're giving? Yes, I do. And so you narrow it down till eventually you understand in your mind who your perfect customer is. And I want you to imagine that perfect customer. The perfect customer is the guy, if you put them in a photocopy machine and ran off 100 copies, that person would make you rich. Now, the reason we want to understand our target market is because that's where we're spending our money. It doesn't mean we're going to turn anyone away. It doesn't mean we're not going to do business with other people. It means we're going to understand we don't have enough money to shotgun market. We're going to fish where the fish are. The next switch is towards integration. And integration means I get everything to work and look like everything else. So I can't go to your Facebook page and see something really ugly, and then I go to your website and it's something beautiful. Then I get your business card and it's got a spelling mistake and a tear in it. Everything has to look the same. So the sooner you come up with your logo, with your look and feel, with how you want to project yourself, the easier it is, because that then carries on in everything. It goes onto your Facebook banner, it goes onto your Facebook icon, it goes onto your business card, it sits on your website, it becomes your little icon on WhatsApp. That's what real integration is. And finally, there's something called disruption. Now, disruption is when something comes along and just changes the industry altogether. So, for example, right now, Zoom is the new disruption. Everybody's on Zoom. It's almost become a social media platform all on its own. Other disruptions were, for example, Taxify or Bolt or Uber, who completely disrupted the transport system. Who am I thinking of right now? Showmax, Netflix, total disruption of the movie industry, no more hiring of DVDs. Those are real disruptions. Now, the funny thing about disruption is that we all absolutely love using disruption, but we hate being disrupted ourselves. Now, for many years, the restaurant industry was absolutely sure that they could never be disrupted. Well, until this little virus came along and all of a sudden they're not allowed to sell food. Now, what is a restaurant if you can't sell food? And if that isn't disruption, then nothing is. So there's disruption absolutely everywhere at the moment. Wherever you look, there's disruption. First of all, what disruption does is it usually saves your customers time. And disruption targets your customers. And disruption tends to cover their needs that you're missing. And disruption seems to make money where you're unable. So you need to look at the business around you and say to yourself, how can I disrupt them? How can I change? How can I disrupt the banks by introducing people into savings in gold? Who knew you could actually save in gold in small little tiny increments that I could buy from 150 Rand a month? I would never have known that if disruption hadn't come along. So the next thing I want to understand is that marketing is all about perception. That's all that it is. So you need to ask yourself this question: what do my customers think of me right now? What do I want them to think of me? And how am I going to do it? Now, very often that first question, what do my customers think of me right now, is they actually have never heard of you. So first of all, you have to get out there and get people to understand you. Then once they've heard of you, they know who you are, but they don't know what you can do. So you have to explain to them what you do. And most importantly, I don't know if you've all heard the expression "with it." It means what's in it for me. Every customer, every single day when they're talking to people is asking themselves, what's in it for me? So every time you convey what it is you do, I don't want you to tell people what you do. I want you to tell them what you do for them. So people say to me, Mike, what do you do? And I say, I help you sell more stuff to more people for more money, more often, more efficiently. When would you like me to start? Just in that, it's not about me. I haven't told you that I do marketing. I haven't told you that I build websites. I've told you what I'm going to do for my customers. I've told you what they want to hear. They want to hear, I'm going to help you sell more stuff to more people. I mean, if anyone here doesn't want that, you're crazy. So it's about finding that message that you're going to give your customers. Now, kind of messages that people have is drink my coffee, contact me, love my brand. You need to sit down and decide, what is my message? What's the thing that I want to portray to people? So that's an introduction to marketing. So what I'm going to do now, if there are any questions, this is a great time to ask a couple of questions. I must tell you, there are absolutely no stupid questions. If anyone would like to, just hit the space bar or ask a question. If there aren't, I'm going to start moving on to social media.
I think, Mike, we can carry on to social media.
No problem. Let's move on to social media. Okay, so along comes social media. Unbelievable. It changed the landscape. Who would have thought all those years ago? I remember my very first internet experience. I used to call it the World Wide Wait. Everything was slow. All of a sudden, social media came along. Now, what I'm going to be talking about this evening is I'm going to talk a lot about Facebook. I'm going to be talking about YouTube, a little bit about Twitter, but not too much. And maybe we can touch on Instagram. But I am going to spend a lot of time on your website and your blog, which is kind of where social media really starts. Now, a lot of people are saying to me, oh, but do I really need a website? I mean, I've got a Facebook page. When people are serious about you, they want to go and look at your website. They want to read up information. That's where the bulk of what's happening is going to go. Most of the time, from your Facebook page, from your YouTube, from your Twitter, from your Instagram, you're actually going to aim them at your website. And from your website is where you're going to start getting the introductions and making the sales. So what I'm going to cover, I'm going to cover your website and your blog. That's probably most importantly. I'm going to cover Facebook in quite in depth. I'm definitely going to cover video marketing because that is my all-time favorite. And then we'll just talk about some other stuff as we go along. So my own website. That's the starting point. If you are interested, and I'll have my I only make one little punt in my whole talk right now. If you'd like to have a Facebook page, if you'd like to have a WordPress website built, please feel free to contact me afterwards. I'll take you through my rates. I'll show you what I do. I'm about to build Ambrosius. He's my next website that I'll be building. I'm only too happy to help all of you. So first of all, you need to buy a domain. I am based in South Africa. I used to use AfriHost and Access until Access really pissed me off one day. So all my domains are registered through AfriHost. I'm not sure who your local supplier is over there, but all you do is you go on there and you buy yourself a domain and a hosting package. Before you buy the hosting package, please check that they have a cPanel, MySQL database. Those two things are very, very important. In South Africa, I would pay 39 Rand a month. That's what a hosting package would cost. And you shouldn't be paying a lot more than that, maybe up to 100 Rand, but certainly not more than that. And the domain registration should be pretty free unless it's a .com. I'm going to urge you, in most cases, to pay for it yourself. Do your own domain, have full access to it all the time. I know there are going to be exceptions. You're in Namibia, I'm here, Mike, can you help me? As I've done with Ambrosius, there are ways to do it. I can transfer it to you later, but where possible, own it, pay for it yourself. Then when it comes to building it, I am a very big WordPress fan. WordPress is a content management system. It allows me to manage the content, move it around, and steer you in certain directions. There are multiple reasons why I choose WordPress over, for example, Wix or Squarespace, because there are other options out there. WordPress is very simple to use. It's very powerful. Google likes it. It's got unbelievable plugins, fancy little things that enable you to add a little button, like a WhatsApp button on the home page. so that someone doesn't even have to look for your contact details. They can just simply push the button and WhatsApp you immediately. And then when it comes to design, you can try your own hand at designing. Some people like to do it. Then they end up calling a designer. Or you can just start off in the beginning and say, listen, this is not what I do. I sell gold. I sell crypto. This is my strength. I'm going to get someone else to do it. If you are going to get someone to your website, here are some really key things that you have to have in your website. Number one, you need to have a really nice, catchy headline. In fact, even better than that, just above it where it says nicelandingpage.com, make sure you have a really nice logo there. Number two, you have a secondary headline, some information about what you do, some in-depth. Number three is the information. Number four, very important, make sure you have some testimonials somewhere on your site. Social media is exactly that. It is social. People want to know what other people think of you. So wherever possible, pop in some testimonials. Number five, have a call to action. Ask them to do something. Click here, download this there, get this for free, contact me. And then have a button, a simple button that they can click and gets them into action. Number seven are your links along the top. Now, there are normal links. Links start off with home, then about, then your services, everything you do, and finally, right on the end, your contact details. Try and stick to a standard that people are used to. It makes navigating your website that much easier. And number eight, find yourself some really nice pictures. If you need to pay for them, please don't use out of focus pictures. Don't use pictures with watermarks on them. Don't use pictures with other people's logos on them. It's really important. This is your storefront. This is the entrance to your business. And then finally, number nine, that line that runs along the bottom there, it means please make sure that your website's responsive. And responsive means that it understands the difference between when it's on a desktop and when it's on a tablet and when it's on a phone. And it adjusts the whole visiting experience for the user right there. Please, it's very important. Over 60% of searches are actually done on mobile. They're not even done on desktops anymore. Please make sure whatever you do is desktop friendly. Then, of course, it is very important to start writing blogs. Now, blogs are articles about yourself. If you go onto my Mike Said What page, it's called My Writing. I write prolifically for the restaurant industry, articles on service, because that's where I get most of my customers through Mike Said What. It's my consulting service to small businesses and to restaurants. I have another little site that I call Dude Food, and that's actually my fun site. That's where I go to people's homes and I actually bribe for them. And instead of having a blog there, what I've done there is I've actually loaded videos instead of writing. That's called a vlog. But it is really important to have articles because Google loves fresh content. And one of the things that forces you to have fresh content is to commit to keep writing and adding stuff to your own website. So I urge you, as we move on before we move on to the next section, if there are any questions, please start off with a really nice, simple website. It'll change people's perception of you. It'll give you credibility. It'll make you seem more serious. So if there are any questions on websites and blogs, now's the perfect time to jump in. I'm either giving you such good answers or you've all gone to sleep. But I'm going to assume that it's me because I'd hate to think I've put you all to sleep already. Okay, let's move on to the next thing, which is Facebook. It's very, very important that you create your own Facebook page. This is not your personal page. It's important that you understand that your personal page and any business pages that you run are actually linked together. It's very easy to trace between the two. Now, the reason I mention that is because let's say you want to do business in Pretoria, but on your Facebook page, you write there how much you hate the Blue Bulls and you hate the city of Pretoria. Somebody's going to link those two things together, and before you know it, you're not going to be getting any business support. It is really worth your while to spend time on your Facebook page, not to just go and get lousy pictures. There's a program called Canva.com. I don't know if any of you are using Canva. It's a wonderful design tool. It'll help you get things to the right size. In fact, one day, Ambrosius, we need to run a Canva course for half an hour so I can give people an introduction, doing a little bit of their own design work and how much it can improve what they're doing. It's really worth the effort. Spend some time, spend some effort, spend some money on your Facebook page. It will pay dividends for you in the long run more than you can ever believe. Because what your Facebook page does is it's a targeted business. Here you'll be able to go in and do adverts and choose your exact market. You can say, I'm in the Windhoek area and I'm looking for males between the age of 55 and 75 who've shown an interest in the word finance. It's very targeted. You can concentrate on those people no matter where you are in the world. And if your product's not localized, then you say to yourself, okay, I'd like to try and do some business in the Cape Town area. You go and ring fence Cape Town, you pick some of the neighborhoods, you once again put in your demographic, you put in their interests, and let Facebook run the ads for you. So here are 6 essential things about Facebook that you need to get right. Number 1, please remember to create a business page, not a personal profile. Now, the most interesting thing is that I have a very active personal profile because I do consider my business, Mike said what, to be my own me. It's my person. So in this case, a little bit of an exception to the rule, but I do not recommend it. And I highly recommend that each one of you creates a business page because you cannot promote anything or boost anything on a personal page. You have to have a business page. Number 2, add a really great cover image, even if you have to go and buy it. That cover image is the one that attracts people to you. Now, there's a trick to laying out your cover image because you can't just put any size there. You have to get the size right. And if you run into any difficulties, let me know and I'll send you a couple of templates. Because the strange thing about Facebook cover pages is they look different on your phone than they do on the computer. And the last thing you want is to go and put this beautiful picture with writing on it, and halfway through the writing or halfway through your logo, everything's cut off. The next thing is add a recognizable profile picture to your page or your logo. Don't just put anything there. Make sure it's in focus. Make sure it's nicely trimmed. You know it's a circle. Spend some time building this Facebook page so that it looks professional. The next thing is please prioritize quality over quantity every time. Before you post something, think to yourself, is it relevant? Is it important? Have I got a good picture? Am I delivering a good message? Have I written a nice little write-up about it? It's no use posting rubbish every single day. It'll get you nothing. You'll lose credibility. And very quickly, people will just go, wow, I'm not interested in this guy. They'll either unlike your page or they'll just hide you. It's a wonderful feature that Facebook's got, that you can actually hide people without them even knowing that you're not interested in what they're saying. And that happens to me a lot, particularly at the moment during COVID-19, where I cannot take the rubbish that's being spoken at the moment. Facebook is very visual. You need to post some very, very compelling visual imagery, whether it's great videos or great pictures. They make the world of difference. Every now and again, post something personal, post a picture of yourself, one with your family. I've got a beautiful 17-year-old daughter who's kind of grown up with me on Facebook. My friends, I think if they had a chance, they would adopt her. I know that if I post a picture of myself, I might get 50, 60, 70 likes on it. But if I post one with myself and Sasha, I'm going to get well over 100 likes because people just love her being part of me and part of my business. So think about your imagery. Think what will appeal to your customers. If you are taking a picture of yourself at your desk, make sure your desk is clean. Those of you that are enjoying my beautiful office behind me on Zoom, I hope you know that that really isn't my office. What's happening behind me is quite untidy, but I've chosen a really nice background so that I appear more professional. And one of the things you can do, for example, is I can go in there and I can say, how about I'll change my background, and any Liverpool supporters who want to join me at Anfield this evening, that's where I am there. Or I can put myself inside a restaurant. I can put myself inside a bar. I can even run a small video in the background if I want. If I do an office video that I have here. How about this one here? It looks like there are people working behind me. Every now and again, someone's going to walk behind me and interrupt me. But it's better than you actually seeing the mess that's happening in my house at the moment. So let me go back to my imagery. So there I am back in my office at the moment, all there. So what I'm trying to say to you is that everything is about perception and how you present yourself on a Zoom meeting, on a Skype call. It's unbelievably important. You can't try and get someone to invest thousands and thousands of rands or Namibian dollars with you when they're looking in the background and they're seeing untidy and then something, pictures falling off and your bookshelves untidy. These things all matter. So only post the most compelling imagery. And then point number 6 about Facebook. Sorry, I need to get back to this one. Point number 6 about Facebook. Post and promote video content wherever possible. Video is unbelievably powerful, and I'm going to move on to video in a few seconds, but if there are any questions, now's the time to ask them about Facebook. Okay. Now we move on to my absolutely favorite part of all of this, and that is YouTube and video creation. Don't you love my PowerPoint presentations? I spend a lot of time just building my PowerPoint presentations because they are my store as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little video that I built one day at a restaurant show. I was at a show promoting my brother's product. I want you to watch this video. It's about 2 minutes long because I'm going to talk to you about what goes on in this video and what made this video so powerful. So a couple of things I want to tell you about that video. Hang on, let me just pause it again, sorry. A couple of things that I want to tell you about that video. First of all, I made it on my phone while standing at a conference. That's how good technology has become. So here are a couple of aspects of this thing. First of all, I asked a question right in the beginning. I said, do you own a restaurant, a bar, hotel, or B&B, or business that controls stock? Now, if you don't, I don't mind if you switch off and you don't watch the rest of the video because you're not my target market. So I identified my target markets absolutely immediately. The second thing I did was I spoke about their frustrations. I said to them, are you tearing your hair out with? So I identified that I understood who they were and what they were doing. I spoke about how difficult it is. And then, very importantly, I told them exactly how long I wanted them to listen to me. I told them that I needed them for another 120 seconds. I didn't leave them guessing whether they're going to have to watch a 15-minute video or a 20-minute video. And everyone's got 120 seconds or 90 seconds. They're happy to give it to you if they know what they're doing. Then I quickly went on to the video. I explained how everything worked. It was pretty simple to do, but a couple of apps and I was away. And then right at the end, call to action. Sorry, contact us today with our contact details. So that's how powerful video has become and how important video has become. This, by the way, is the day I learned to love YouTube. This was the very first video that I ever posted on social media. It was my stepdaughter's birthday, and I decided to make a video of the song Wear Sunscreen. And I posted on the internet, not really knowing, but to date it's had about 2.5 million views. Unfortunately, I can't really make money, but it did teach me just how powerful it really was. So let's talk about you and video. So you need some tools to make video. First of all, you just need a camera or a phone. You'll be absolutely amazed how powerful your camera on your phone is if you learn to use it properly. You do not need to invest in another camera to make pretty good videos, I must tell you. Second thing is, go and study techniques. Go and watch YouTube videos on how marketers make their videos. Learn a little bit about cutting, learn a little about adding titles, spend some time. Very, very important, use a tripod wherever possible. Get yourself one of these tripods. I'm not sure if you can see this, one of these things that kind of hold the phone. I can connect it to any tripod. They cost you a couple of shops, a couple of rand or a couple of dollars, absolutely worth it. And if you haven't got a tripod, just carry around a big lump of press stick wherever you go so that you can support your phone on a table and have it stand up. Learn to improve your editing. Take the time to learn techniques, make it more professional. I must tell you, sound is very, very important. When you're doing your videos, people will watch a bad video, but they will not listen to bad sound. So sometimes it really is worth investing in a microphone. And then most importantly, practice, practice, practice. Your first video that you make will probably be a disaster, but at least the second one will be a little bit better, the one after that a little bit better, and so it goes on. Nobody goes from, I've just picked up my phone, to Steven Spielberg overnight, but you can learn and you can make really good videos. And if you are going to invest some money in videos, here's where I suggest you make it. First of all, buy yourself a decent microphone. They should cost you in the region of about 600 Rand. In South Africa, I would order it here from takealot.com. And then when I shoot my videos, I use a particular app called Filmic Pro. And Filmic Pro cost me 200 Rand for a lifetime subscription. It's fantastic. It changes the focus. It changes the lighting. If you are going to take video a little bit seriously on your phone, I do recommend that you spend a bit of money on that. I personally have a stock image subscription. I don't recommend it for everybody, but for the 220 Rand, it's really worth it for me. In fact, now it's probably a bit closer to 300 Rand now that the Rand's taken a real tumble. But having access to video stock is important. It helps me professionalize my videos. Definitely buy yourself a decent tripod in for about 500 Rand. And if you are going to take it seriously, there's some wonderful free apps. For example, there's an app called Qwik, Q-U-I-K, which helps you fast edit video and get you amazing results. You can edit your sound on iRig Recorder. And if you want to get really, really serious about video, if video becomes your thing, have a look at something called DaVinci Resolve for your desktop. It's as good as Premiere Pro, but it is free. So that's the 5 best things that I can tell you about investing in video at the moment. I really would challenge you, each one of you, to take some time and try and get your videos done. Okay, so now we've booked ourselves a website, we've started blogging, we have a Facebook page, we've maybe even opened a Twitter page. And the first thing people always ask me is, what is the best time to post on social media? Now, this varies all over the time, all over the time. And everywhere you look, you're going to see really, really different things. For example, on Facebook, the best times are Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That is without a doubt the best time. It's pretty safe to post on any weekdays from about 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And Sundays, you'll get the least engagement. So if you are going to come, if something happens on a Sunday and you're really excited and it's something about your business, wait for Monday morning. Don't post it on a Sunday, because on a Sunday, people are not conducive to doing business. When it comes to YouTube, pretty much any day of the week between 2 and 4 o'clock are great. You may think that's a bit early, but that's around about the best time to post. I get my best results there. One of the things I discovered about Facebook is that people tend to pick up the phone within about 2 minutes of the alarm going off. So if I am going to post in the morning, I tend to post at 6:32 or 7:02 or 7:32, because I want them, as they pick up their phone, I want them to see my image first. Because if you can get people to like your image really early, Facebook has an algorithm which tells it that your image must be good and must be important, and it shows it to even more people. So one of the things you guys can do for each other, let me just have a look right now. We're 16 people here on the thing. I'm not sure how well you know each other. You form a little group, you form a little WhatsApp group called Facebook Postings. And when you post something on Facebook, you notify everyone in the group that you have, and you ask them, please, to quickly go and like and share your post. It tricks Facebook into believing that you've just posted something that is shit hot and everybody should see it. So it's a nice little way that you can kind of manipulate Facebook a little bit. You are going to use Instagram. On average, best time to post is in the afternoon between 2 and 3. I like Instagram. I'm not a big believer in Instagram for business. For me, it's Facebook, YouTube, and my website for business. Instagram for a little bit of fun, and Twitter to read the news and possibly get into a fight, because that's what everyone does on Twitter at the moment. It's become a cesspool of arguments and counter arguments. So what you really want more than anything else is you want something to go viral. You want something just to spread like wildfire. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples of posts that I made which went absolutely viral, and I can explain to you afterwards what it was about them that made them viral. The first post, the one that shocked me the most, was one that I did during the World Cup last year. In the middle of the World Cup, I posted this thing that said, "So strange to see so many soccer players with tattoos, considering how low their pain threshold seems to be." Sorry, I think the World Cup was now 2 years ago, not even last year. 2018, I think, was the World Cup. Now, this thing just simply exploded. And as you can see there, it had about 31,000 shares. What I always do with all my memes and anything I do is I watermark it. And you can see my name there. I always put my Twitter handle on it. And what it does is it get more people to follow you, more people to look. Now, what it was about this particular thing is the timing was absolutely perfect. I posted it as one of the football players were literally rolling around on the ground in agony, and everybody knew he hadn't got hurt. The next thing on Facebook that went really viral was, you all remember, or I shouldn't say you all remember, but I'm sure you remember Mayfok Marlies, that young girl that managed to ride her bicycle right into the rugby post. Her mom turns around and says, "Mayfok Marlies," and all of a sudden, everybody was saying it. Now, a friend of mine, Andrew, that's Andrew in the picture over there, he was in Spain, and he wrote to me one day and he said, "You know what, one day when I hear this in Spain, then I'll know this thing's gone viral." And I said to Andrew, "Here's what you do. Grab your camera, walk around the small little town you're in, and teach everyone in Spain to say, 'Mayfok Marlies.'" And this little video had, now it must be well over 200,000 views, but it had about 122,000 views. It was a remarkable introduction to video. And then one of my other ones, which I absolutely love, was during the elections last year. I grabbed myself a boot and I stood there with a sign that said "Moon Boots, 150 Rand, crutches 75 Rand, baby pram sold out." It was on the TV news, it was on the radio news, every radio station. It just went absolutely mad, but that's when things go really, really viral. Sometimes what you want to do is you actually want to force things to go viral. So you spend some money. So I, for example, produced this little advert, this little video. I'm not going to play it for you right now. It happened to be around the moon. And what I did was I spent some money promoting it. And it ended up being in front of 28,500 people. It had 4,000 engagements. That means people either liked it or shared it. And it resulted in me getting a lot of business through my Dude Food. It actually, for a while, I was kind of fully booked on Dude Food. And you'll see there, 84 shares, 16 comments, and I spent money on it. It was absolutely worth spending. I think I spent in total about $25, which at the time was a couple of $100. Facebook is so powerful. It's absolutely worth it. I could not have got that for the money anywhere else that I spent it. It was perfectly targeted. So now here I'm going to explain to you what makes things work on social media. And I call them the first R's. The first thing is regular. You have to become a regular poster on Facebook. You have to become somebody that people actually miss if you go away. If I were to stop posting on my Facebook page for a week or two, people would write to me and ask me if I'm okay. In fact, if I don't post one or two crazy things in a week, people will write to me and say, just checking you're okay, you don't seem yourself. And that's when you know you're actually having an impact through you being regular. The second thing is being relevant. Now, you need to pick your topics carefully. So I look at what's happening at the moment, and I'll try and aim my memes, I'll aim my comments around things that are news and fun at the moment. So, for example, when Cyril was giving his last speech in South Africa, I put up one that said, I used to be frightened when my wife said to me, we need to talk. Now I get frightened when this man says, my fellow South Africans. And that also went extremely viral because it's very relevant to what's happening at the moment. The next thing is being remarkable. There is so much clutter out there on Facebook. There are just like a million things going on at the moment. You need to find a way to stand out. One of the ways to stand out is through remarkable imagery, through great videos, through your sense of humor, through supplying information that everyone else can. If all you're going to do is wake up in the morning, find some boring post and post it there, you really are not going to get any response. And then finally, be real. Be a human being, have an opinion, share that opinion with people wherever you can. It really is worth it. And then people say to me, but Mike, I'm not seeing the kind of results that you're seeing on my page. I don't understand it. Every day I post it. And I'm going to explain to you why things don't work for you or possibly don't work for you. First of all, right now, you have absolutely no strategy. You wake up in the morning and you decide just to post. There's no pattern to what you're doing. You're not telling a story. You haven't thought it through. You haven't thought, what should the comments be? How am I going to steer them from this image to doing business with me? That's about having a strategy. The second thing is you're actually posting boring content. Now, very often someone says to me, oh, I just don't understand it. I posted this article and nobody, and I look at it and I go, sorry, but that article was shit. You cannot ask me to read 400 lines of rubbish. You need to capture my attention. So one of the reasons is look at your content and say, is my content working for me? The next thing is lack of good images and video. It's unbelievable. Everything that works well works around imagery at the moment. The fourth reason, you're not offering any value to your customers. You're talking about you, you're talking about what you do, but you're actually not talking about what the value is to them. Remember, WIFM, what's in it for me? And then, finally, number 5, you haven't defined your target market. You're talking to everybody at the same time, or you think you are. You need to understand who your target market is and talk to them particularly. Okay, let's quickly go through social media. First of all, I need to tell you that social media is not optional. If you're not doing social media at the moment, you're simply not talking to people. Social media is not difficult. It's pretty easy to do. It is more difficult to do it properly, and that's where you need to invest some time and effort, but it's not a difficult thing to do. Next thing, social media is not free. When I say not free, of course, Facebook's free, and I can get images for free, and I can go on Twitter for free. That's not what I'm talking about. When I'm saying that social media is not free, I'm saying you need to invest time and effort and sometimes some money. Number 4, please understand that once you post something, it's out there and it's almost impossible to get it back. Now, if any of you have Netflix, I urge you to watch a series called, sorry, not a series, a documentary called Weiner. It's about an American politician called Anthony Weiner who didn't understand how Twitter worked and posted a picture of his what's-her-name inside his underwear, hoping he was sending it to his girlfriend. Instead, it ended up on the internet, and there was just chaos from there. And every single day, there's more and more stuff like that. There is a guy in South Africa by the name of Russell Kruger, who actually happens to be a friend of mine. He owns a restaurant, found himself in a lot of trouble, can't get UIF, can't get paid, can't get any grants. At that particular moment, his son walks in. His son was playing outside with some friends. They were playing paintball or some kind of game. And his son had painted his face with black mascara as part of his camouflage. And Russell took a picture of his son, posted it on the internet and said, "Is this the only way I can get a grant from my government?" By the next day, he was getting death threats. Charges have been laid against him. It was an idiotic thing to do. But the lesson is, please be careful. Once you post it, it's out there. Step number 5. Sorry, I went the wrong direction. Step number 5, listen first and sell second. Listen to your customers. Listen to what they're saying. Try and tap into what they're posting. If you see a customer complaining about the way his bank's treating him, that's the time to step in and say, hey, you know the bank's not the only way to save. You can save through Carrot Bars and you can save through gold. And then he's complaining about not being able to transfer money. And you say to him, have you ever considered cryptocurrency? So it's about listening to what people are talking about and then engaging. And then finally, number 6, sell, sell, sell. That's what this is about. We don't just do this for fun. We want to make money. I'm here this evening because I'm hoping someone will want a website. Someone will want some assistance with it. Someone will want a video from me. That's what it's about. Every day, every interaction we're doing, we're selling. I see you smiling, Ambrosius. Everybody, we are selling, selling, selling all the time. But the way we sell is we give away. So for example, I've given away an hour of my time. I've given away my intellectual property. I'm happy to have my then I'll do with the greatest of pleasure because I'm hoping in the end to sell, sell, sell. And then finally, keep pressing the wrong button. Sorry about that. Success is not guaranteed, but insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So if you want a different result in your marketing, in your sales, in your social media, from tonight onwards, start doing slightly different things. Pick a few things that I've mentioned, download my presentation, go through it, see what you like, and let's take it from there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, at 58 minutes and 58 seconds on the dot is the end of that presentation. Yeah, I should start pressing the right buttons. If there are any questions, this is a great time to ask them. Otherwise, I'll slowly let you, I'll ask you a couple of questions, but let me open it to the floor just for now.
Mike, thank you very much for an excellent presentation. I hope the colleagues have learned something from it. And is there any questions, colleagues? Do you know how to unmute yourself? Just unmute yourself and you can post your question.
No questions from me.
Thank you. Lucas? All right, let me ask you all a few questions then. So I need to know if I succeeded. Was I able to introduce you to social media? Did I calm you a little bit? Did I inform you? And more importantly, I hope I inspired you all to do something else. If you would like to get hold of me, I'll leave my details up here for a little while longer. You can have a look at it. Find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram, find me on YouTube, or just drop me a WhatsApp. I'm only too happy to help any of you, help you grow your business, answer some questions for you, do what I can to help you. It has been my great pleasure. I hope you have all taken something from it. I hope, I'm not sure, is Namibia in lockdown? Or wherever you are in Africa, you are in lockdown. So I would say,
yes, we are.
I would say to you have a wonderful weekend, but I don't even know what a weekend is anymore. Every day has become Blur's Day. Thank you all for your attention. Go out there, make some money, have fun. Ambrosius, thank you for setting this up. I'm sure that you and I will be chatting a bit later on or tomorrow morning. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.